Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Movie or Something. My name is Shintaro Koda, and I'll be your guide through this tour through the high points of film history. Everything's a remix lately, and there don't seem to be any original ideas as of late. And if there is an original idea that comes out, chances are that it gets franchised and run into the ground until it becomes routine. It's common knowledge that the sequel to any movie just isn't as good as its original predecessor, and nowhere is this more evident than in the case of the 1981 film Tomika's Arrival 2, the direct continuation of the events in Yvonne Wang's film Tomika's Arrival. Whereas Tomika's Arrival is a deeply intimate document of human happiness, infused with a live wire energy the likes of which had not been seen before in cinema, Tomika's Arrival 2 is a cheap cash-in, rushed out to capitalize on the Tomika's Arrival name while the proverbial iron was hot. In order to distract from the fact that the sequel story is virtually incoherent and almost negligible, Wang added a whole heap of new characters, introduced without any attention being brought to the fact that, up until they entered the film, they did not matter to the overall story in the slightest. The focus has shifted from Tomika's parents to their well-wishers, and who we can only assume makes up their family, although this is mere conjecture because Wang never states outright who these new people actually are. We do not know why they care about Tomika, and therefore the emotional investment is simply not there. Compare these failings of the slapdash sequel to the ingenuity of the original, which made a wise choice in limiting the amount of characters who interact with the titular character of Tomika. In this case, less is more. The unregulated bombast of Tomika's Arrival 2 is painful to watch, and frankly, the film is a superfluous work. Tomika's story was told to completion in the original film, and its audience received a satisfying resolution at its close. Tomika finally arrives. The profit-driven nature of the sequel is sickening, and especially egregious in this regard, considering the way it corrupts the purity of the original and does not offer anything new or extraordinary of its own. What it does differently does not work because it convolutes the narrative, and what it copies from the original Tomika's Arrival serves as a poor facsimile in so many ways. It fails to capture what made the original great, which was its immediacy and spontaneity. Instead, it paints in broad strokes, oozing maudlin sentimentality, which ultimately rings artificial. Only time will tell which document will stand above the other. Its greatest crime is that it feels fake, which is a serious offense when you remember that cinema is all about reality. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please forget to subscribe.